Does your car seem to pull to one side or the other when you're driving it down the road? Maybe you just installed some new suspension components and you adjust your camber, maybe your toe alignment is now out of whack. If any of those sound familiar to you, then you've come to the right spot. Today, I'm gonna be teaching you how to do your own alignments at home, in the parking lot of your apartment complex, or anywhere really that's flat enough of a surface to work on. It's gonna be significantly cheaper than if you were to take it to a shop. And this will allow you to set your alignment whenever you want, however you want, whether that be just as a daily driver, you just feel safe on the road, or even for track aligning your car for when you have an autocross coming up or even a track day. To perform the alignment, you're gonna need the following tools and equipment. Length of string, long enough to reach past the length of your car, jack stands, or any two things that you could use to secure string onto, a tape measure or a ruler, either imperial, also known as freedom units, or metric, but metric will generally give you a more precise measurement, your car's specific front, rear track width specs, which you can often find with a quick Google search. You want this information to ensure you're properly setting up the string spacing from each wheel correctly when we get to that point. A few pieces of cardboard for putting under the tires. This allows the tires to move more freely when turning the wheel and adjusting the toe. A couple of wrenches, preferably 2 crescent wrenches as they are adjustable. A breaker bar, torque wrench, and applicable sockets for if you have to align the rear wheels as well. And if you have a lowered car, a jack and jack stands would be a lot of help to be able to lift the car up and be able to access and adjust the tie rods or toe adjustment bolts as necessary with a little bit of ease. Starting things off, you're going to want to find a flat enough surface to be able to work on the car. Now, a garage is typically the most preferred way of doing this, but if you have a rental bay or something or a shop that you can use, that'd be perfect as well. But as long as you find a flat enough surface, whether that be at a parking lot or somewhere similar, then that'll work out just the same. Now, if you had the car lifted in the air for any suspension work or for whatever purpose, you're gonna want to go ahead and roll the car back and forth or drive it back and forth before you start the work. That way you'll let the suspension components settle and everything's where it needs to be. Once you figure out a good spot to perform the work, roll or drive the car's tires onto cardboard pieces. If your car allows front and rear toe adjustment, then you can put all 4 tires onto the cardboard, but if not, just the 2 front tires will suffice. Now with the tires settled on the cardboard, turn your steering wheel enough to be able to allow access to each of your tie rods so you can break them loose. If your car is lowered a bit, you may have to jack up the car to even get access to your tie rod nut. Just be mindful, you may need to put in a little bit more work than if it was just a normal height. Using one wrench to hold the outer tie rod in place, use your second wrench to break the tie rod nut loose. To do so, turn the nut clockwise when you're looking at it from the outside in. Once the tie rod nut is broken loose, you can hand tighten it back on until you're ready to adjust the toe, or you can even just leave it loosened a few threads. It's completely up to you. Once you have the first side done, go ahead and perform the same steps on the other side, and then straighten your steering wheel to a position that's comfortable for you when you're driving the car. If you want your steering wheel to stay in the exact same spot throughout this whole process, then what you could do is get a steering wheel lock that you can extend and keep it in place, or even have a friend or family member, whoever, sitting here and just kind of hold it in place. But honestly, it's really not that big of a deal. Every time you go and make an adjustment, all you gotta do is come back in, steer it a little bit, turn it left, turn it right, and then recenter it to your liking. Then go ahead, take your measurements, adjust as necessary, and do the same process until you're good to go. For the string setup, cut a long enough piece of string to reach about 1 foot or 2 past the length of your car. Once you properly cut the string, go ahead and wrap and secure the string around the posts of both jack stands or whatever equipment you decide to use instead of jack stands. Once the string is secured, stage the jack stands ahead of the front tire and behind the rear tire. You also want to make sure that the string is taut when placing the jack stands in the front and the back. And all you got to do to get the string more taut is go ahead and pull the front string forward more or the rear string backward. Now you're going to want to raise the string enough to be centerline with the front and the rear wheels. Once the string is taut enough, go ahead and push the string towards the wheels until the string is a few inches away from the center of each wheel. From here, use your ruler and the track width information for your car to properly position the string the correct distance away from both the front and the rear center caps of your wheels, or the centermost point of the wheel face if your center caps are removed. Using my GR Corolla's track width, for example, in the front, it is 1590 millimeters, and the back's track width is going to be 1620, which means that there's a total track width difference of 30 millimeters. That means that it's shorter in the front by 15 millimeters on each side, and that's primarily due to the stock spacers that are on this thing from factory. Now, 15 millimeters roughly translates to about 9/16 of an inch in freedom units. So that's what I use to measure out the string from the front wheel vice the rear wheel. The front part of the string is currently 9/16 of an inch further away from the wheel than it is from the rear. Now what that does is evens out our string right here to make it so that we get a precise measurement. Also worth mentioning, if you added spacers or have wheels with different offsets than from factory, then you're gonna have to factor those in your calculations as well. Once your string is properly set up at the starting point, it's time to actually measure out your toe. Now, if you don't know what toe is, don't worry, I got you. Toe in relation to vehicles is essentially if you take your feet, with my hands being my feet, for example, and they are straight, that means that you have zero toe with your tires. If they're pointed inwards, that means you have toe in, and if they're pointed outwards, that means you have toe out. Pretty straightforward. If your tire is straight, your tire has zero toe. If your tire is inwards, it has toe in, and if your tire is pointed outwards, you have toe out. Toe in usually is a little bit more stable than zero or toe out. With toe out, you will definitely feel your car trying to dart a little bit more, and that's probably what you're feeling if it feels like you don't have full control over your steering. To measure toe, take your measuring tool and measure the distance from a forward point of the tire wheel to the string, and then do the same with a similar rear point on that same tire wheel. Now, when you're taking your measurements, you want to keep in mind that if the front is closer to the string than it is to the rear, that means you have toe out. If the rear of the tire is closer to the string than the front, then that means you have toe in. And if they're identical, then that means you have zero toe. Now, in my case here, the front of this tire is closer to the string than the rear is, which means we have a bit of toe out. Now, for the majority of drivers out there, you're either going to want a zero toe or some slight toe in, as those will be the most compliant for your toe settings. Now that the initial measurements are done, it's time to go into the wheel well and adjust your inner tie rod to either get more toe out or more toe in. To do this, take a properly sized wrench or an adjustable crescent wrench like the one I have to turn the tie rod clockwise to loosen it, which results in more toe in, or turn the tie rod counterclockwise to tighten it, which will result in more toe out. Repeat your measurements and adjustments until the toe is where you need it to be. Keep in mind that you want to recenter the steering wheel each time you make an adjustment unless you have it locked in place, so you can take a precise remeasurement after each adjustment. Once the toe is where you want it, go ahead, tighten down the tie rod nut with one wrench while holding the outer tie rod in place with the other, and then perform the same process on the other side. Once you get the tie rod nut tightened down in the front, then you're good to go. That is, of course, if you don't have rear toe adjustability. If you can adjust your rear toe, then the process is going to be a little bit similar, but a bit different than the front. There are a couple different options that may be on your car for adjusting rear toe, and one of those options is a toe adjustment link. Now, my car has a rear toe adjustment bolt rather than a toe adjustment link, so in the case that your car has a toe adjustment link, vice the toe adjustment bolt, then the process for adjusting rear toe will essentially be the same as the front end link, except you'll have two nuts to loosen, and you'll be adjusting the toe itself by either tightening or loosening the center collar of this adjustment. Before adjusting the rear toe, you'll need to break the nut of the adjustment bolt loose using a breaker bar with the proper socket size. These nuts are usually torqued down to about 75 foot-pounds, so it may take a little motivation to actually break them loose if you're working on the ground. You're going to want the nut to be loosened enough to be able to easily move the adjustment bolt with a wrench. Once the nut is broken loose enough, take your rear toe measurements and see which way you need to adjust your toe. If you need more toe out, turn the bolt clockwise to pull the lower arm inward, and if you need toe in, turn the bolt counterclockwise to push the lower arm outward. And once the rear toe on both sides is adjusted to your liking, fully tighten the nuts and be sure to torque them down to your car's required specs. More than likely, it'll be around 75 foot-pounds. Once all your measurements are to your liking, everything's tightened down, go ahead, take your car out for a drive, make sure it feels okay. If it's not, then just come back, do the same process again until everything feels great, and then you're good to go. And if you enjoyed this video and you got some good use out of it, please leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and ring the bell so you guys will be notified of more car content like this, more racing stuff. I have a lot of that coming up here soon when I get more time, and other content coming here soon, including more reviews in the future, probably next year, but soon enough that is. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment section down below. Until next time, guys, keep going fast.